Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime, back at it again for another Transformers action figure video, and we are back on our bullshit, only this time, it's slightly more aquatic, or, boat themed. And throughout this review, let's see how many water and boat puns I can really crank out in this video. Hopefully you guys don't get sick of it. And now taking a look at the packaging here for Seaspray. First of all, he's got the nice old Generation 1 packaging art right there. It says Autobot Seaspray, the big window showcasing the figure within. It's got the big 80s Transformers logo. And here on the back of the packaging, they just have, again, the old Generation 1 style artwork right there for 85. And then it's got the little tech spec card right here. It says, Autobot Seaspray, function, naval defense. Be unyielding as the ocean waves, and your enemies shall fall. Displays a zest for his job unmatched by fellow Autobots. Loves the ocean and the creatures, loves the thrill of naval battle. Displays a zest?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Seaspray is zesty. And then right here it says we got the, all authentic Transformers. And that's pretty much it for the packaging here.
Now, why don't you just get in the tub?
Seaspray here just comes with one simple accessory, just a nice standard, laser blaster that looks like other Transformers guns we've seen before. What's much more uncommon is the style of weapon storage this guy tends to take. It's actually kind of a cool look, having a little, shoulder cannon look for Seaspray. And now getting into Seaspray's head sculpt here, I really like the way how they went for that Generation 1 toy look with the head here, and how it has more so like a scuba diver, mask type look.
We love the company.
I still think it looks pretty badass with just the way it looks. And I also really like just some of the mechanical detail going around the shoulders here. And thankfully there's just enough room there, it's to still get in there and pose around without having to wedge your fingers in there. Overall, the other details on Seaspray also look just as nice. I like how they kept the little propellers here, and they're just on little pins, so they spin pretty freely. Those are always fun to mess around with. And I just really love the way how the colors kind of come together. I've always appreciated the colors on Seaspray with the nice yellow, this bright white. The blue arms look really nice. And again, some nice siege ports all over the place, some nice little toy accurate details here, some more details, and then I like how he's got his white Speedo down there.
Yeah, boy.
Colors are really nice with the yellow legs and the blue feet, and he's got the gun right there. And overall, just very nice, knuckles and other mechanical panel lines and details just throughout the whole figure. And surprisingly, this guy is barely even hollow at all. There's just these tiny little bits behind his abdomen, but the guy is actually pretty solid with very few hollow gaps around. Also very clean back as well, hardly any kibble. I mean, I guess you could consider these fins up here kibble, but I mean, that's just part of the character. That's part of his charm. The only things I remember about Seaspray from the old Generation 1 cartoon is I remember that, whenever he spoke, he always sounded like he was gargling on water.
Maybe that is all I am, a bunch of transistors and bolts.
Seaspray was also voiced by the same guy who voices Skeletor in Masters of the Universe.
I have you now, you muscle-bound oaf!
And now getting into Seaspray's posability here, as I mentioned before, you can still reach the head in there, which there is a ball joint in there, which allows for the head to rotate a full 360, and he can look up and down just a tiny bit. Obviously, these spin, as previously mentioned, shoulders rotate, they move in and out to a pretty good degree. He's got an elbow swivel, over 90 degrees of bend at his elbow. Wrists don't rotate, but they do hinge up and down. He does get a very nice waist swivel. Hips do rotate back that far, and they do rotate back that forward that far. And then they do move out to the side. He does get a thigh swivel, like a hair over 90 degrees of bend, but because of how big these feet are, it basically is just 90 degrees. I don't really like how small his ankle pivot is because it could have been a lot bigger, but these big panels back here kind of get in the way of it. And then he also does hinge forward and back on those ankles as well. So some pretty good articulation range on this guy right here. What are you waiting for? And subscribed. I'm sorry, that one was bad. And now for robot mode comparisons for Seaspray. Here he is compared next to the 86 Optimus Prime. And then here he is compared next to just some other general G1 mini-bot characters who have been upscaled into a more deluxe class scale. And, you know, I'm really happy that they're starting to go, Hasbro's starting to go along with this new upscaled version of G1 mini-bots. And then finally, here he is compared next to the old Legends class Titans Return Seaspray, which holds a very special place in my collection for personal reasons. Anyway, now that the comparisons are out of the way, let's now get into Seaspray's transformation. And here's now taking a look at Seaspray in his hovercraft boat form. Also, while doing the transformation, I just randomly remembered there was that one episode where Seaspray, like, basically rizzed up a human woman. Damn, Seaspray has more luck with women than I do. And yeah, overall, I really like all the details that are here on the boat. I like just the nice roundness they've got going around the whole thing, combined with his arms and feet, really giving it a nice, just more solid look. Doesn't look like it transformed earlier. And I love this silver with the Autobot logo that just kind of emerged from the depths of his robot mode. And the colors on this also look really good as well. I just love all the little bits and details and the mechanical detail going throughout the boat. And I guess you could say his head right here is visible, but I mean, at least you can rotate it around and kind of hide his face. These are obviously still spinnable. And just overall, just a really nice boat mode. Obviously, the bottom doesn't look very pretty, but I mean, I also don't look very pretty on the bottom either. That kind of didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. But yeah, overall, I just really love this boat. There's something really charming about having a Transformers boat. I think it's just the novelty of the fact that boats are just a really uncommon alternate mode for Transformers in general, and this one is just really fun to mess with. And now getting into the vehicle mode comparisons. This is the same ruler I used to measure my dit. Here he is next to 86 Optimus Prime. I didn't transform him because I just don't feel like it right now. Leave me alone. And then here he is next to all those other G1 mini-bot style characters like I previously showed off, only now they are all here in their alternate modes. Again, taking those little Chiba-fied vehicles and expanding them into deluxe class size vehicles. And then here he is with that original Titans Return Legends class Seaspray, and long story short, this is the figure that kind of got me back into collecting after I kind of went through like a dark ages like time where I was just not really into Transformers that much anymore, and this figure was the first of my new collection of figures that I've been collecting since about 2018, and now it is spiraled out of control. Please help. And that is basically it for my review on the Transformers G1 retro-inspired deluxe class Seaspray. And I really like this figure, and that doesn't just have to do with my bias towards Seaspray. This is actually a genuinely really good deluxe class figure. Like I said, barely any hollow gaps. The transformation feels nice and fluid, and just like water. Anyway, and again, it also has this really nice just feeling of like completeness. Like, there's nothing here that I wish was added on, there's nothing that I wish was taken away, except for maybe those little panels on the back of the ankles that help prevent the ankle pivot, but I mean, at least they help make it not look so hollow. I mean, it's just a pick your poison situation, but overall, I'm just really satisfied with this figure overall. Just the robot mode, the vehicle mode, even the packaging I thought was actually like really well done. I like the G1 style packaging. And just overall, this guy is just an absolute win in my book. So if I had to give this guy a rating, I give him an overall 9 out of 10. I cannot express enough how much of a nice, refreshing, start this feels to me. It's almost like I'm starting collecting with a new perspective again, just like, kind of like what that old Titans Return Seaspray did for me all those years ago. And again, that figure will still hold a nice special place in my heart, but this one is the superior figure overall. Thank you all for watching. This has been Briximus Prime. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like on the video. Comment below what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more Transformers and action figure videos. Be sure to check the playlists and check the channel for any reviews or anything you may have missed or may have not seen if you're new. And just overall, I will catch you guys hopefully next time. Hopefully I don't drown in my sorrows by then. Okay, we're done with the water puns.